I keep trying and failing to bring LPS videos back, but I think it's time to be less ambitious and a little more realistic, as heartbreaking as it may be. If you don't know me or you don't remember me, I'm Allison or Stroglix. I used to be known as LPS Allison TV and started my YouTube channel over 9 years ago. I consistently made LPS videos for about 3 or 4 of them with some breaks in between. After 2019 though, things really slowed down and haven't been the same since. I keep trying to make LPS videos happen, but many factors have gotten in the way that I'm going to discuss in this video. I keep promising a return and trying to deliver update after update to let people know, hey, don't forget about me, please. I promise I'm still here and I'm kind of working on projects behind the scenes. I keep coming back when I'm not really ready to because I don't want to let people down and I want to keep this passion going, but I think I need to be patient and recognize that this passion might just have to wait and take its time. So allow me to cover a few important reasons I cannot make LPS videos, yet, as well as what I'm doing in the meantime. Let's be honest, Kappa was the beginning of the end of LPS2. Don't get me wrong, some LPS tubers are thriving out there, but it had a heavy effect on the entire community. To this day, getting comments enabled on my videos is such a challenge because they're always trying to disable them, though it's odd that they don't forcibly mark my videos for kids. This is specifically LPS videos, as art videos have been fine. I'm not sure how I can dodge this. I may have to stop putting LPS in my thumbnails and even titles, which may seem deceiving, but I just want to have comments open on my videos. There is not enough time in an average day for me to sit and plan, write, film, and edit videos. I work a 9 to 5 full-time job 5 days a week, and when I'm home, I'm usually drawing or doing chores. Sitting down, gathering ideas for videos, writing scripts, filming, and editing all take a lot of time, especially because I'm not really familiar with it anymore. It's difficult to get into the swing of things when I have not made videos in so long to the point I've basically forgotten how. The last time I consistently made videos, I used a phone and the same editing softwares that I've been using for years. I have not touched a camera or a real microphone, and for a while, nothing outside of VideoFX Live and iMovie. It's functional, but it gets boring and I feel like I'm not growing as a creator. I have recently gotten more familiar with CapCut, which provides easier editing for me and more options I didn't have before. When I made consistent videos, I also usually didn't have a plan nor a script. Sometimes I'd have bullets or a general idea, but for the most part I jumped right in and had fun. And while that's nice, I care more about being a little more professional now with a solid plan or a script and actually knowing what I'm getting into. I'm more passionate about the things I create, what goes into them, and planning ahead so they can be the best they can be. This is why all those big series still haven't seen the light of day, but it doesn't just apply to series. This includes skits and short films too. I've tried winging those, but that also turns out to be difficult and I find myself lost while filming. That lack of direction causes me to lose motivation too, and the video often gets left in the dust. The main culprit for all this is simply growing up and maturing. Back when I consistently uploaded, I was just a kid. I didn't know what made a good story or good characters, and I didn't care. I was learning, and I ran wild with it and made complete dog shit as a result, but I was having fun. I could sit down and effortlessly pump out videos because I didn't have to think about anything I was doing. Nowadays, I overthink many of my choices and put a lot more care and time into my work. From videography to scripting to stories to characters to editing and set design, every little aspect has become something I take a lot more seriously, which means every little aspect takes so much more time and I have to apply myself so much more. My current setup has me slumped over my table like a shrimp and it's pretty uncomfortable. I can only sit and make videos for a certain amount of time before I have to get up and move around. I'm not sure how most people make their LPS videos, if they'd stand or sit or crouch. Hell, we moved recently and I don't know if I even have the chair I used to sit in to film. I'm a very creative person with a lot of ideas, which is both a blessing and a curse. Having so many thoughts and so much desire to create is so overwhelming at times. I want to make all these series and skits and films all at once. I even get overwhelmed with the amount of LPS I have and I want to use them all at once and just play with them and give them all characters. Sometimes if it gets too overwhelming, I can't actually create anything or find a focus. I have a lot of LPS and crafting items and props and not a ton of space to store them. This also makes videos a challenge. Back in the day, I only had so many LPS and things to use for videos, which made it a lot easier to sit down and create because I didn't have so much to work with. My current storage space is okay, but I do have some organizing to do. I recently put all my LPS away after moving into a new apartment, and they're stored in 3 different places due to limited space. One day I hope I can have them all in one spot. But in general, limited storage, too many ideas, and not enough tools to put them into action all become overwhelming very quickly, which can also affect... This has been a driving factor throughout my LPS career, even before 2019. I've suffered from depression, and it had an effect on my LPS videos, of course. It hasn't really affected me recently, and I've been in a consistently good headspace, but that could change with time, especially when I move and go to college, which are both plans within the next year or so. Mental health and lack of motivation are always things I have to consider and worry about when it comes to LPS videos and creating in general. Outside factors have a big part in my inability to fully commit and apply myself to LPS videos. Last time I came back, my interest in Toontown Corporate Clash got so intense that I focused all my energy on that. Between work, drawing the characters, and playing the game, that left me with no time or desire really to make LPS videos. I never know when a big interest is just waiting around the corner to completely take over my life and make me forget everything else. It's honestly tiring. Art and drawing is another huge factor, as it's one of my favorite hobbies and something I might pursue in college. It's something I've actually committed to and learned so much about, but putting all that energy into art means I've shut out pretty much everything else. I often forget to take care of myself or do basic chores or hate going to work because I just want to be a hermit and draw to my heart's content. If I took all that energy and put it into LPS videos, I'd be unstoppable, but I'm not going to, and really, I can't. I have basically never brought this up because I hate talking about it, but since 2019, I've developed these persistent tics in my shoulders that, for some reason, are associated with my muscle cramps. If I'm having bad muscle cramps in my shoulders, they tend to twitch. I've been through doctor after doctor and haven't been diagnosed with anything, so I don't really have answers for it. After a few minutes of filming in an uncomfortable position, moving my LPS, the tics will act up and it can be painful. I can't hold my arms out or above my head for too long before they start to twitch, and the same applies to holding my arms out to move my LPS around. The only solution I can think of would be to have a more comfortable set that might relax my arms more, but I don't currently have that. This is one of the main factors, honestly, since it's totally out of my control and makes filming videos physically uncomfortable, painful, and difficult because I don't want my LPS to be twitching out of nowhere. There might be videos where this has happened as well, and it embarrasses me. So, what am I doing in the meantime? Within a year, I'm moving and I'm going to try to apply to college. These will both be huge factors in my mental health and ability to create. I have no idea where life will take me when this happens, and I can only update you guys later on when it's actually been done. You may have noticed I posted a few animatics here and there. I want to be able to post animatics, but I've fallen off of it because I guess I just feel a little shy about them for some reason. Maybe because they're not LPS related. Plus, a lot of them are so short that I don't feel like posting them, or I feel like they're not long enough to serve as a proper video. This is a flawed way for me to think, but it's how I feel. I do post animatics and a lot of my art on my Tumblr blogs though. More on that later. I still plan to post more animatics in the future, I've just been quiet on it recently. I may upload a video that compiles a ton of my Corporate Clash animatics, since that's mostly what I've been working on. I also want to create animatics, maybe one day animations of some of my characters, some of them being random season designs and others being ones that you guys might be more familiar with, my LPS characters. My focus on Corporate Clash has kept me from working on my own characters, but I'm trying desperately to find a balance. A while ago, I made a video going through my old series, Camp Riverwood. People really loved this and want more, and you'll be happy to hear that it's always been my plan to cover some of my other LPS series as well. I currently have bullets written down for Because of You, and I've started a script for going over Abnormal Pain. When these will be done is only for time to tell. My updates can be found on my Tumblr blog. Speaking of which, I don't use a lot of social media. You cannot pay me to touch Twitter, TikTok, or Instagram, but I do have one place you can catch updates and art on, Tumblr. I know a lot of people probably don't use Tumblr anymore, but it's what I use, and I'm most familiar with that site. I have two blogs, one being Strawglix and the other being Strawglix OCs. Both will be in the description. Strawglix is my fandom blog and the main one I use, while Strawglix OCs is, well, as it says, my OCs, my original characters and projects. This includes LPS projects. I have posted a few things there featuring my characters, including LPS characters. I even have a lineup of characters from Behind Closed Doors. Here's a drawing of Gwen from Focus. Here's a drawing of Melody, Monica, and Cody. Here's the characters from Prime of Your Life. If you're interested in these, you can follow my OC blog. I also post art on my fandom blog if that's something you might like. I will also make an effort to post updates from my LPS channel and projects on my OC blog, though I'm not sure how frequent these will be. I have several projects, and by that I mean series, in the works. This is a known fact, and it upsets me that I still haven't finished any of them. Let me list every series idea that I currently have and where they're all at right now in terms of progress. Focus, previously known as Camp Riverwood, is in the first stage of my writing process, bullets. I have simple, basic bullets written down describing the events of the series. I plan for it to have 5 seasons, and I currently have 3 seasons worth of bullets written down. However, it's been a long time since I wrote those and I may go back and change a lot. Focus is something I'm struggling with, the series itself and the actual concept of focus, focusing on the right things and finding my footing with the story. I've started to doubt and question what I want the series to say, what journeys I want the characters to take. I have an outdated video of me going over the focus characters that has since been unlisted and it's not relevant anymore. I'm not totally confident in Focus, so I've taken a break from it, even though it's made the most progress in writing out of all my projects thus far. Behind Closed Doors, previously known as Fabulous Fables, is also in the first stage of writing with basic bullets written down. I'm unsure how many seasons it will have, but it currently stands with only 1 season written. I'm slightly more confident in BCD, the plot, the characters, and what it aims to say. I still find myself scattered with some of the characters though, and I'm trying to find a way to naturally mesh them with the plot. Prime of Your Life, previously known as Abnormal Pain, is a simpler and more carefree series than the previous two, so I may turn a lot of my attention to this one. I wouldn't call it a comedy, but it's more lighthearted and explores the lives of characters that are just starting middle school in the 90s. It's also in the first stage of writing, having 1 season planned out just like BCD. Prime of Your Life is one that I'm pretty confident in and might shift my focus to. Sheila Goodwill is my oldest series ever, starting all the way back in 2015. It is a total goddamn mess. It's had at least 4 different versions made of it throughout the years, the last one being from 2016, the one you can actually find on YouTube. I have barely a clue what I want to even do with the series and how I want the characters to fit into the plot. It has yet to be written. It is very much in the drafts and I don't have plans for focusing on it currently. Mr. Bronstadt's Class is a carefree comedy show that I briefly mentioned. It focuses on the students in Mr. Bronstadt's class, going through various shenanigans episode by episode. It was going to be a practice show so I can get more familiar with the process of making LPS videos and series, and I think I still want it to serve as practice in the future, but currently I can't make LPS videos. Still, it should be an easier series for me to create and you may expect to see updates on it. Danielle vs. Kimberly existed so briefly, only as 2 trailers back in 2017. The first one is boring and typical as shit, but the second trailer was so charming and cute that I actually have decided to stick with the idea. It's a comedic, fun, anti-bullying series that, again, should be easier and less overwhelming for me to write. It aims to be lighthearted but also dive into the harmful effects of bullying in school. It will likely get a name change in the future, and you may expect to see updates for it. These last 2 series started as 1 idea but quickly branched off into 2. Basically, I have 2 series that will focus on the workplace, one being carefree and slice of life, while the other has more stakes. I briefly mentioned in my LPS Con haul video that I wanted to make a slice of life type series that focuses on the workplace. I actually started writing it, and while I really loved what I had, it steered away from that slice of life nature I was aiming for and turned into something more serious and ambitious, which defeats the whole point of me just practice writing. I really liked what I had written though, and I'm going to reuse it for a different series in the future. That one will be called Ambitions. But for now, I'm going to focus on the slice of life carefree workplace series it was initially meant to be. It doesn't have a name yet and all the details are vague. You should expect to see updates on this though, as it's probably the first one I'm going to work on when I get back into LPS videos. All these details should be found on my OC Tumblr blog throughout time. Posts will be tagged with their respective characters and projects to make it easier to find. One day I hope to make videos talking more in depth about the characters from these series without going into spoiler territory. I need to learn how to talk about all these projects without spoilers in general, because I don't want to leave everyone totally in the dark due to fear of revealing too much information. I hope to see you guys in the future. In the meantime, you may see analysis content, animatics, and any other random videos I decide I feel like making. I'm sorry I can't deliver on LPS content right now, but it's one of my main goals to return one day. I love LPS and LPS Tube, and I hold my old channel and series so close to my heart until the day I die. I've never forgotten, I never stopped caring, and I think about them all the time. One day. Have a good one, y'all.